All right, there's no more Hulk. Guys, we got ourselves a DC leak of Super Pet's Batman trailer. They're riding that Batman wave. They're the only ones on the internet doing that right now. And it got spoiled for us who's playing Batman. Keanu Reeves. I actually watched the trailer for the first time a couple days ago when prepping that other video about every Batman project coming up. And I was like, this really looks good. What did we watch it for? All right, guys, if you're here, leave a like. We are shooting this before our live stream spoiler talk. I'm assuming it went splendid. Definitely going up after because we don't have time to edit because Koi has a Hart out. That's why we're doing this one by ourselves. Let's go.
So, you are a dog. I am the Batman. I'm not really great with animals.
Yeah, I'm not really great with people. Probably because of my traumatic puppyhood.
As a child, my family was taken from me.
As a puppy, I was taken from my family.
So I steel myself.
My emotions always in check.
No one ever getting past my impenetrable defenses.
What the heck?
That can't be sanitary. Every day, me and Soups hang out.
You literally worship the ground that dude walks on.
Technically, he flies.
Batman works alone, except for Robin. And Alfred, Commissioner Gordon, my IT crew, whoever Morgan Freeman played.
What do I have here?
Squeezy Bruce!
Squeezy what?
I want a squeezy Bruce.
Better be a licensed toy or I will freak out.
Oh, man.
There's some meta humor for you. Because everyone's going to be buying that squeezy Batman.
Well, they can't have the Lego movie franchise right now. That went to Universal, recently discovered. Yeah, you know, it's funny. Like, when I was doing the video the other day they put up, I read off, like, the plot description, and Batman wasn't even, like, mentioned in there, so I thought it was just going to be, like, some quick cameo that you get a Batman in it. That'd be more Superman-centric. I mean, with Krypto, the Superdog, of course. While the first trailer really leaned heavily into that, looks like we're actually going to be getting a good amount of Batman. And I'm assuming they waited to unveil that because of the massive $128 million successful opening weekend that they had. Yeah, I mean, Keanu Reeves doing the voiceover work for it, I think he's like perfect for these kind of voiceover performances, like who he played in Toy Story 4 was hilarious. Remember who that character's name is?
Duke Kaboom?
Yeah, he was
Several
great.
action figures.
Did you really?
Kaboom, yeah. Yep, Andrew gave me one. I got a couple others. I was honored to be associated with the character.
I love like the humor here because it does feel reminiscent of the Lego movie franchise with a lot of its like meta ways, and then also it seems like this is what they can do to sort of get some of that cool comic book stylish influence that like things such as Across the Spider-Verse have been able to infuse with their animation. Also like that meta self-awareness angle, like if you can't have the Lego Batman movie anymore, maybe they can do this. Like you could totally see if this pans out that you can get a spin-off with Keanu Reeves in the role of Batman and having this like humorous metaphorical connection between what a lone dog and a Batman is like. I think it's really funny. I thought that was great. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know. To me, you said that thing about like not knowing that we'd get quite as much Batman, or at least seeming as though like Batman would be as prominent of character as Superman in this. But it makes me wonder like the rest of the pets, maybe that we'll get kind of a bit between each of them and their super respective owner, etc. And then, you know, get the ensemble bit of all the pets. We'll probably see some of the superheroes interact. It just seems like there's so much potential for so much fun to be had across this. And I mean, yeah, Keanu Reeves, the combination of the animation and the stylization they go with his voiceover, and like Batman is already a meme, and like we have Will Arnett's, yeah, like meme-ish portrayal, and I love that this is also in that lane, but it's not exactly that. It's not the same, I'm Batman. It's definitely like the circa Keanu Reeves vibe, obviously, because he brings a certain amount of himself wherever he goes, and I would love to see more animated stuff with him in the role, just because, I mean, at this point, he is getting to that point where he could be, you know, he's such a badass, and he's an elder statesman, but also he's got that dark side. Yeah, I just think that's so wonderful.
Well, I think what's cool about when you do Batman in these movies is like you have the films, like live actions, you've had like the Ben Afflecks, you've had now Robert Pattinson. When you do that, they make them so grim and so dark. And then when they go animated, they use that opportunity to really poke fun at itself. And that's something I think Warner Brothers has a pretty good handle on balancing out. Like it's strangely not bizarre at all to have your darkest Batman movie come out and then a couple days later release this trailer and be perfectly amused and not feel like it's too much. It's this weird ace in the hole that they got with the Batman where they can just use whatever they want to do with him and it seems to always work.
Oh, and they waited till today, till Sunday, so they wouldn't overshadow Robert Pattinson with his conversation about the character.
But this movie just looks like a lot of fun in general. You know, I know we haven't really shared our thoughts on it, but I like Dwayne Johnson in the voiceover role for Krypto, John Krasinski as Superman, and then of course you have Kevin Hart in here. And Kevin Hart, I think, can play off of anyone, and I wonder if this was the kind of movie in the sense that they really let them be in the same booth together. Because usually if they're not in the same booth, you can kind of tell, but when they are, you get this certain kind of back and forth and rapport that just is great. And I think the animation style feeling very like classic DC, almost like the early days of Detective Comics is kind of the flair that you get with it, sort of that like 1950s type of animation style to it.
Yeah, with some exaggeration. Like, I love how sort of like bulky and top heavy Batman is and like how tall his ears are and things like that. Like, yeah, it's very heightened and very stylized in a way that suits also like 3D animation and kind of makes it distinct from the 2D stuff that we're used to seeing.
The one thing though that I'm getting a little bit tired of with Warner Brothers is it seems like their most common joke is to make fun of Warner Brothers. You
They
know?
love to reference themselves in all their various properties.
It's the one thing where I'm like, okay, all right, you got this one joke that you seem to be carrying through all your comedy franchises here now.
Yes, self-deprecation can be fun.
Yeah.
Can be a way to endear people to you.
After a while, you're like, all right, let's dial it back now.
All right, guys, it's
Even though it makes me laugh every time, every freaking trailer, I'm like, it's so funny.
well, you know, it's the spectrum now. Is it the Matrix Resurrections or is it, you know, DC's Super Pet?
All right, guys, what did you think about this trailer? Leave your thoughts down below. Subscribe, click that bell, hit that like button. Last but not least, let's do a... I want to shout out today Tyler Hay. You messaged me on Twitter saying you saw the Batman and that you really dug it. What I want to say to you, though, is that if I was a dog, I'd want you to be my owner. You be scratching my chin, rubbing my belly, forcing me to sleep on the edge of your bed while you sleep in the nude. And then as your dog, I'd watch you. I'd have the consciousness of a human being, but not be able to communicate it to you verbally due to the fact I am in dog form, but I'd be watching you every step of the way, tongue out, panting heavily. You are so gross.
Don't deny my raw sexuality.
Oh, God.
I'm just thinking of Tyler, boy.
That is not you. I was getting turned on until I saw my peripheral. Oh God. Tyler, this went from sexual to being canceled.
To extra sexual.
Anyway, kids, hope you got this shout out on DC League of Super Pets.